All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the All Over Overland show right here on Overland Radio. Like I always say, a lot of overlands, one spot. Anyway, so I don't know about anybody else in the country, but here in Oklahoma today, the heat index was 113. And quite frankly, it's just too hot. Sorry, it's just too hot. And of course, Michael and tonight's guests are both probably going to rub it in our noses that they're in the, 60s, give or take. So we'll get to hear all about that. Anyway, before we get started, as always, thank you to our sponsors. We really appreciate Chad at Overland Attic, Theo at Rugged Bound, and the entire crew over at Midland USA, Midland Radio. We greatly appreciate all your support. Oops, I got stuff falling everywhere here. So thank you again. And I'm not sure Michael's making a noise in the background, but anyway, I'll bring you in. Hold on.
Dude, I am minding my own business.
What's wrong?
Nothing. You said I was making noise.
Oh no, that was me making noise. I dropped my
making noise.
Yeah,
okay.
That was me.
Yeah, I was like,
Sorry.
What's going on? Hey everybody, welcome to the All Over Overland show. My name is Michael. This is Lee. We're gonna have a special guest tonight, who is hopefully gonna teach me a few things about this whole Alaska thing. I have several questions. I think I will always have questions. I heard a term I've never heard before called frost heave. It's where the ground moves because it's thawing and frosting and it moves like a bunch. I guess there's a road that is like just bumpy as hell because of it. Anyway, so that's been kind of fun. Learning things and doing all that kind of stuff. In fact, we're going to ask our guest tonight, like bear defense. Like I've been talking to Lee about it quite a bit. And I just want to be able to say bear go away and the bear goes away. Like I don't want to have to do anything. Bear go away.
Oh gosh. What else is new? I don't know. You need a couple of them spoons.
Molly's?
You clap the spoons together. Molly, is she gone? Is she still there?
Molly's in town. So
Awesome.
She's still here. I'll be off tomorrow. So we're going to go do something. There's a road I want to go down called Mystery Creek.
Nice.
Kind of sounds fun. So if we might go do that tomorrow, or I've got a buddy, Justin Works, that's Overlander here in this area, and we're going to go tackle that at some point, just see where it goes. But tonight's guest owns a couple businesses in the Anchorage area, and one that we're probably going to talk about a lot is Alaska Overlander, because he rents out vehicles for the Overland community to go and enjoy and do all the things. So let's bring Craig on. Craig, come on in.
Hold on, Michael. I'm trying to get the mouse over there.
What's going on? He can't get good help anymore.
Hey, before we get started, one more quick note. We are now streaming this on our website, and it's live streaming on our native apps in iOS and cool. Android, both.
Very cool. I didn't know we had all that.
Yeah, I've been working hard in the background to build my first apps. They're very basic, but hey, we're streaming on our own apps, not through anybody else.
We're very basic. That's what it is. But our guest is not basic at all. He lives in a land that most people would dream to live in. I got to actually be one of those people because I live up here now. And he's from another land that even more people would like to visit. So let's hear him talk real quick.
Hey, Michael. Well, first off, again, welcome to our great state. We're glad to have one additional member who can get out there and explore this wonderful state. And I've been really excited to see where you've been exploring, what regions you've been going to, and you've picked out a couple of my favorite spots already too as well. So I'm looking for you to leave the peninsula though and go more to the interior and
Yep, that's coming.
That's coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
we lost Lee left us. I guess. Well, he's still there, but he's in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming. I don't have dates yet. My daughter's in town and she leaves on the 27th. So probably nothing hardcore, at least until after that.
No. Sorry about the heat wave that we got today. This is ridiculous. 65 degrees.
Yeah. Lee takes off, and I was just gonna talk about how we could wear t-shirts today.
At least it stopped raining. That's all I'm thankful for.
Yeah. It's been a rainy mess. And then I got a tsunami warning.
Yeah, you did. What a wake-up call, huh?
That Sunday night?
7.3. Yeah.
Yeah, 7.3 earthquake. And of course, we're in Soldotna. So I looked over at Sarah and I was like, I think we're okay.
Yeah. Having gone through a couple of these, it's if it doesn't push you out of bed, you're fine.
Yeah. And so I guess Homer saw a little bit of it. And I talked to a lady from Homer today, and she acted like it was no big deal, other than the waves got big. Yeah, that was about it.
No, so from exploring pushes what one person said, which I liked in the Alaskan response, is it pushes the fish closer to the nets. So,
and it's dip net season.
It is. It's fantastic.
You're not down here. What's going on?
No, it's just we've been a mix of exploring ourselves, building some rigs. We've just been too busy. We kind of missed the prime dip netting season, but we've been able to experience it through friends and family as they go out there. And seems like this has been the year that for fish. This has been amazing, the amount of fish that people have been catching. I hear the Russians on fire. I hear Kasilos on fire. Kenai's on fire right now. It's like everyone's fridges are getting full. Everyone's happy. And
everyone's friends' fridges are getting full. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We got to experience a little bit about that. Justin Works gave us a big old bag of fish the other day, so we were
very nice.
Excited.
You can't go wrong with it, right? Fresh from the river, and
he got us some halibut in there. He's got some salmon in there for us. Our neighbors across the street gave us some canned salmon. Yep. Oh my gosh, Craig,
it's the best.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and you start seeing the creativity of everyone's favorite family recipes and things that have been passed on down. Hot smoke, cold smoke. Me, I just like it grilled, right? Just grilled straight in the grill. You just add a little bit of seasoning to it, and it's just you can't go wrong with salmon.
See, we're kind of the same. We cook it in our cast iron skillet.
Yep.
And just season it just a little bit, but we just love the taste so much and the taste up here is far better than anything I ever had in Oklahoma. Like, not even funny.
Yeah.
How different it is. So, pretty excited about that. So let's kind of get into it. You're not from the United States. Tell everybody where you're from.
No, I'm from I'm from a small little country called New Zealand, way south, and moved up here in 2001. And then once you make it through 2 winters, then at that point, it gets in your blood. I've been very fortunate to come from one beautiful country and being able to relocate to another stunning part of the world. And then, my wife was from here. She was traveling around the world, bumped into me. I said I'm going to play tour guide, continue to play tour guide. She said she brought home a living souvenir. We still argue over that. And then, and as you know, once you have kids, it's no longer about where you are; it's where they are, and raising kids. And
I say that we just uprooted 2, so brought them all the way out here. So, but we feel for the boys, it's definitely going to be a better place.
For
them, and then for Molly, just the experience to get to come up here often and stay for a month at a time, and have that in her resume as far as places that she's been to and explored. I wish I had done it whenever I was a kid. I wish that was available, to be able to do something like that. Not that, you want your parents to split, but traveling and doing more of that. My family, we went to Dallas, and that was, kind of California once, and Florida once. So nothing.
There's a saying out there is that if you come to Alaska when you're young, you'll have the bar will be set very high, right? It's tough to
I think
And
it
I,
says don't come as a young man because it like ruins you for the
yes,
rest of, if you go anywhere else.
yep, yep. And we get to see that with our guests that come up, right?
Oh
Alaska's got
yeah.
an aura, it's got a pull, it's got something that is this epicness to Alaska, and so you always wonder kind of how people perceive the state or how they're going to perceive their experiences. And they were a little nervous initially when they first come up here and get out there, and then when they go and see the Denali Highway, and then they go to Kennecott, and they get to kind of do what we do for fun themselves, and these most amazing epic locations. When they come back, they're changed people. They really are. They just have had amazing experiences, and yeah, it's great.
Well, and one of the things for me that's been kind of weird in this experience of moving up here and you know becoming part of the state and being here a full-time resident is that moving up here, I still sometimes act like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like that it's not the United States almost. Like I'm in another country. Like, am I
Yeah.
able to do X, Y, and Z? You know, and they're
Hmm.
like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's so remote to where I was from, and it took so long to get here and just all the things that it feels like you're in your own place.
It does. Yeah. But funny enough, I come from tourism industry. That's my background in hospitality, and having growing up here in the States as well, and being a foreigner, I never quite understood the connection to the States, right? And that kind of evolved over time. But some funny stories you used to hear in the hospitality industry. People would literally call up the hotel where you're working at, and they're like, "What currency do you guys use up there?" It's like we're part of the 50 states. We do use American currency.
Yeah.
It's come on up, relax. It's you're in good hands. You're gonna have an amazing experience. Just get up there and visit, right, and explore.
Well, and that's where I could see totally that people coming up here, even renting out the vehicles, could get a little nervous at
Yeah,
first because you're like, am I driving correctly? Am I
yeah.
doing the things I'm supposed to do? And then you realize, well, wait, it's all the same.
Yeah, and it's the nervousness too of the big wild and you're talking about before in regards to beers and all these concerns that people can have in regards to the perception of what Alaska's about, and it's just you just got to get out there and explore it and do it, and then you realize that it's not any different. There's some nuances you need to do to prepare yourself in regards to it, but for a majority of the areas you're going to see and explore, communication's a little different than the low 48. You need a little bit more connectivity than you would do in the low 48. But Overlanders typically, have satellite phones or some satellite texting device. Or now we're starting to see a lot of Starlinks coming up here too as well throughout the state, and giving a lot more connectivity. Where when I first came up here, you didn't have that, but it's becoming a lot more accessible, a lot more, a lot more. It's a lot more accessible for people to come visit.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I mean, the world's getting so much smaller. In fact,
Yeah.
yesterday a lady came into the place that I work and she had an OU jacket on.
Yeah.
And, she finds out I'm from Oklahoma and is like, oh, look at this. And I was like, look, I'm going to have to charge you more because I'm not an OU fan. So she was like, oh, no. So, I mean, it's a big world that, through technology and communications, whether it be your GMRS or satellite or a Garmin InReach or anything like that, it's just made us all that much more connected. And
but
makes
on the flip
some
side
of
of it, this is one of the few
not
places in the US where you can actually, if you want to get off the grid, you can get off the grid. You
Oh
can
yeah,
get really removed from it, and
yeah. If you don't have something connected to the satellite, then you're done. You're toast.
yeah, and then it's a great way to kind of put your tension and stress and what happens back home, and jump on a plane, fly up, and kind of rent one of our rigs and kind of get out there and just have an amazing kind of once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We've got our Midland girl, Olivia, that saw my shirt and said, hey, I like the shirt. So she's in the chat over there. What we'll do is we have a chat going, and Lee will kind of be checking that out, and then he'll jump in here and ask us a question if he sees something in the chat that we need to definitely talk about, or if somebody's asking questions. So now you do the Overland rentals is one of the things that you do. Now, is that something that you got? Well, let's go back. Overlanding.
Yeah.
When did you first start kind of really getting into what we call overlanding, which is basically car camping also, or boondocking, or whatever you want to call it. So what's your experience in getting into that, and how long have you been doing it?
Well, my background was I was into Subarus, right? That was my fun little car, and I'd modify Subarus, and I had bikes, and that was my world. And that was great when I was young. But then kids came along. And, for me, one of my key core memories of growing up was camping and getting out there and exploring where you are. And then so when my kids got to an age where it's like, I want to be with them. I want to experience what Alaska has to offer with them. That's when we kind of got into overlanding. So it was really in regards to modifying vehicles. Started with a simple rooftop tent and in the 100 series Land Cruiser. And we had a tow behind trailer at that time. And it was about just getting out to some of the spots. And then, as you in Alaska, you kind of got a wealth of areas that you can go to. And no offense, Michael, but I got tired of doing the Kenai experience with an RV and towing it behind and doing the common campsite.
I get it.
Which is okay. I wanted to be more, I got a real bad case of what's down that road-itis, right? So if I'm driving down a road and I'm more like, hey, I wonder what's down the end of that road, or what's down with that place. And then so it was more kind of the kids and I were packing along, and we were kind of going out there and experiencing some of the unique areas of Alaska. And then working in tourism industry, I managed hotels in Denali National Park, and so you're a lot of activity and a lot of guests that you're taking care of, and the phone never stopped ringing, and you're managing employees and managing guests. And then for us, our escape for us was to literally pack up our rig and go down the Denali Highway, away from cell phone reception, and find a place to camp out for maybe 1 or 2 nights where we could just get out and escape from it all, and just spend that time as a family. And so that's where overlanding started for us. Was more just, I didn't know about the gear, I didn't know about the rigs, I didn't know about any of this. It was just more a conduit to get my family out and experience Alaska. And then it evolved into overlanding at that stage. And I'm a firm believer. I don't like titles, and I'm like rock crawlers or overlanders or this or that. I kind of view that the same way I look at people who ski versus snowboarding, right? Hey, we're still all up on the mountain having fun and experiencing it. And everybody's build is different, and everybody's rig is different. Everybody's use case is different. And so, we kind of, as long as we're all, getting out there and experiencing what the state has to offer, we're all good in my book, right? So who am I to judge?
I'm with you. I mean, it's overlanding as the word, I think, ties a lot of us together, but it's not necessarily something you have to lean on to say this is exactly what I do, because I think there's variations of that also.
Definitely.
But and you're right. Like in the Kenai area, there's not really any trails.
There's a couple of trails.
There's not. It's not like I imagined. Let's put it that way. I thought like the whole place is going to be wild, and I was going to be able to drive wherever the heck I wanted to, and there would just be a system of roads set in place that were much more than they are, because this is a area that still hasn't been touched a whole lot, because a lot of it's either a wildlife management area or national forests, place. A lot of this area is, or tribes.
Yeah, it is. And then really a lot of the access that has been created is more around either historical access to communities, or access to old previous mine claims or existing mine claims. And so, a lot of the roads you've got, which are out there, and a lot of historical significance. You don't have the fire trail access that you do like in outside of Sedona region, right? It's just we wish we did sometimes, but we also wish we don't sometimes too as well. So it's that balance. But you can overlanding. It's just in Alaska is a little different than the lower 48, but you still got amazing access to just stunning parts of the world.
I think overlanding in Alaska is more like world travel, like more like what it's like outside of the United States, probably. Whereas in the United States, it's let's find some off-road trails that connect together and and go do this thing. And what I mean by Alaska being more like in the world, like there's a lot of like either highways or main roads that people use that you're going to be driving down more so than you try to do in the lower 48. In the lower 48, you're trying not to see anybody the whole time.
Yep.
Where my idea of overlanding is that, but also going to like through a remote village and, kind of finding out what's there, maybe eating something that, is cooked there or something like that. There's a little store, but anyway.
Yeah. There's some of that. There's a lot of that too, as well. I mean, that's a lot of what we're trying to do in regards to planning for our guests, as we're really looking at the routes that give them that right balance of experience. And Brooke, who is my wife, of course, and she's the other partner of Alaska Overlander. She handles a lot of the reservation side and the booking side of it. And that's really a lot where the catering of experience kind of happens. And in regards to, hey, what are you looking for? How much time do you have? Where do you want to go? What sites do you want to see? And then how can we kind of really show you the good camping spots, the real nice boondocking sites, because there's plenty of boondocking sites and plenty of locations you can go to. And then you can kind of do certain routes that gives you the kind of the best experience that you can have, and really get out and see, what is some of the cool places that even some Alaskans haven't even seen. And, get out to some of these locations where you do get to see some of the communities where it's, a small bar in the middle of nowhere, which has got amazing food and great beer. You know what I mean? And then
and it's even crazy to me, being here for a little over a month now, that I bumped into people that have never been to Captain Cook's recreational area.
Yeah, great place.
They haven't ever been on the beach. Like, I was showing a picture from the beach and they were like, "Where's that?" And I'm like, "You live here. Like, you've lived here for 15 years.
Yeah.
It's just up the road. It's not even hard to get to."
Well, and as you know, Michael, summers are very short and very intense here for locals, right? And everyone has a specialty. And, if you're into fishing, that's your sole focus. If you're into hunting, that's your sole focus, right? And so it's, it's that balance of our summers are so short and so intense that you got to pick a passion. And your passion may change throughout your lifetime, but you'll find Alaskans go all in regards to whatever their passion is, and then we'll research it to death and experience it to death, whether it be flying a bush plane or whether it be fishing or you name it, they do it. So
it's funny, like all my friends are like, Alaska, that's so cool, but then you got to realize also, and it is so cool, but it's harder to see when you live here almost, because the summers are short, so you got to make all the money you can.
Yep. Yeah.
In the summers, because the winters are a little, especially here it's a tourism area, so
it is. Very much so in that region.
And I'm selling these sheds, and they're gonna sell through the spring, the summer, and a little bit of the fall, and then it drops off quite a bit in the winter. So I got to try and fit that and trips all into the same thing. So
and then, as you know, there's no and we can see that some of our guest side, like, hey, can I fly up there for 4 days and see Alaska? You're like, wow,
no.
You got it's it's going to be a very controlled experience, right? If you're doing 4 days, definitely go along the Seward Peninsula, right, and go hike a glacier and go fishing and do some paddling on out on the ocean. Hey, Michael. And I like the chat. That's cool. I like that popping up. But and then so when most people ask us kind of what's the ideal time that you can kind of have, we typically say the best time to have is about 10 days. That's kind of the minimal that I would say that you'd want to kind of experience Alaska. That gives you a day to kind of get yourself based, pick up the vehicles. We kind of do the full walkthrough. And then your first night, you can either be kind of just outside of Anchorage, because you want to escape the big city as quickly as you can do and kind of get out into the state. And then at that point, then you just do whatever direction you want to go. Pick your own adventure. If you want to do Denali Highway, if you want to do Kennecott, if you want to go further into the interior like Chicken, or you want to go do what we did just recently, just go up to the Dalton Highway and go up to Prudhoe Bay. There's a lot of adventures and directions that you can go. from that point on, and really just experience the state. But yeah, 10 days is the sweet time.
What are some of the top places that people request? Whenever they're talking about coming up here and they're going to rent a vehicle, and you say, "Hey, what are your plans? What are your need to sees? What are their top? The people that you have coming in. What are their top goals?"
Typically, there's two kinds. It was three kinds. There's the group that they want to do the experiences. They want to go and do the activities, right? And they were they were more shorter span. They're the ones that want to do the float plane trips. They want to go out and hike on the glacier. They want to do the fishing experiences, and the vehicles are a great way to transport them around there and then camp by some awesome locations and campgrounds. So they are typically more the shorter term, real intense experiences. And then you've got the other group that, hey, we want to do the interior. We want to see what the Alaskans go and where do they want to experience. We want to take it a little bit slower. We want to kind of more pick our own adventure, and we'll find activities as they kind of come. And then you got the third, which really don't have any plans at all. They just jump on a plane, they fly up here, and they just kind of see where the winds kind of send them, and off they go. And to each their own. Some people literally will be on the phone with Brooke probably every other day, or shoot a text or shoot an email. Hey, this is our plan. This is itinerary. How can we tweak it and fine tune it? And some just jump on a plane and say, "I'm here, Alaska, guide me." Right. And every single one of them has an amazing experience. That's. And then
my first 30 minutes outside of Anchorage changed my whole life.
That drive just south of Anchorage is just amazing to take.
It's so crazy. You've got water next to you, you got mountains next to you, and you're just winding around that road. It was amazing. I can't even, words can't even really tell you.
And Alaska just continues to try and take your breath away, right? It's just trying its best. Like, just when you get bored, you get another mountain range come out, or a moose pops out, or, just something that just makes you kind of go, okay, Alaska, chill out, just.
Well, and it's so crazy because, like, on a somewhat cloudy day, you see the mountains in the distance and they look really far away. Yeah. And then the next day, there's not a cloud in the sky, and it looks like the mountain is right next to you. Like, it looks so much bigger. It's just the craziest thing.
And Sarah and I talked about it. Winter, Michael, they're going to have that winter inversion that happens, and those mountains that look like they're just across the way are going to be towering right over top of you. It's just, it's a very different experience during winter.
Does everybody gain weight in the winter because they stay inside and they just, eat pots of chili and soup and hang out by the fire, or what?
Well, in my family, we got to keep busy. So we snowboard. I got 3 kids. If we did that, it'd be a recipe for disaster. So we got to keep them busy. And
all right, Michael, you got to stay busy, dude.
Hey, I think I might get into cross country skiing.
I think you should. I think you should, because I've seen your diet and it sucks.
Hey, it's gotten today's bad because I had to pick up McDonald's for the kids and went ahead and myself.
I found Michael's next birthday cake today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You want to see it?
Oh, geez. That looks amazing.
No, I disagree.
Okay, for those
has my favorite things in it.
For those of you listening, it's a bundt cake mold of SpaghettiOs, stuffed with Vienna sausages, which I have to say I
gosh,
like.
That's got to be amazing. You put some white sandwich bread next to that to dip into the sauce.
I saw that today, and first of all, I about hurled, and then the second thought that went through my mind was, "Holy crap, this is like right up Michael's alley. I need to send this to him."
So Lee's talking about my first camp of the year this year. That was this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I went out and it was the first, and I for dinner had SpaghettiOs with meatballs, and Lee has not let me hear it down since then.
I mean, geez.
I used to live off those when I was little. So good.
Anyway, when I saw that, I thought of you, and I was like, "It's Michael's next birthday cake right here."
Speaking of food, Craig, what?
Yeah.
What did you say?
It's going to be caribou dogs this time next year. Once you.
Well, I'm having reindeer. We've been having a lot of reindeer dogs, which are
Yeah.
caribou, right?
Yep, same family.
Yeah.
Yep.
So good. Well, I was just going to ask, what kind of food overlander are you? Are you the guy that does the packets? Are you the guy like Marco that cooks an amazing meal? Or are you guy like me that hopes somebody there is cooking so you can eat their food?
Well, I'm very fortunate. I travel with someone who loves to cook. So henceforth, the reason why I'm a little more burly and prepared for winter. But no, Brooke, she's great. She's amazing. We're very breakfast. Depends, it depends on the trip you're going to, right? As you know, sometimes you're covering miles, so it's quick, dirty, just get up, get going. Typically there's a steak involved. There's got to be some salad involved. We're big into breakfasts too as well. And then lunch is kind of whatever we can figure on the road
Fast
as we're
and
traveling.
Yeah.
So,
So, Michael, it's about the same as what we do. I mean,
Yeah.
as long the kids care, as long as it's s'mores in the evening, right? As everyone's relaxing around camp, that's all that matters for them.
Dude, that's the most overrated camp food for me.
Yep.
Is a s'more. Like it's too messy. I'm over it.
It's a little too rich.
For the kids though, they love it.
Oh, the kids love it. Yes. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
I like to feed that stuff to other people's kids because, well, they're pumped full of sugar. Michael's the same way. He's a little shit stirrer at camp. He'll pump a little bit of that. Hey, you want some, sweet tarts on a rope, or you want some, this or that, and get everybody else's kids jacked up on sugar. And then he goes and climbs up.
Have you tried sweet tarts on a rope yet?
No. I know that.
Oh, it's not like sweet tarts on a rope. It's sweet tart ropes. They're the best driving food you can have.
A good friend of mine, when we first had kids, he said to me, he said, if you ever ask me to babysit your kids, I'm sending them home with a Red Bull and a Snickers bar.
Right on. Yeah.
Damn, that's one way to curb that real right off the bat.
Like Julie noted.
That's fair.
He now has kids, so his tune has changed.
Yeah. Right funny how that works.
So you've got an Overland renting company. What vehicles do you guys have available in your fleet?
We are mostly Toyota based. And so we have Forerunners and we have Tacomas, and then we built them out really just more as a touring setup. So we have Old Man Emu suspension in them. We have Toyo tires. We have Method and SCS rims too as well. We have the iCamper because it's just a very quick, easy to deploy tent. It's got the king size bed, so it doesn't matter if you have 2 people or 4 people. It can really accommodate kind of a family in a vehicle. Mm-hmm. We have drawer systems too as well, and we have a dual battery system as well, because we just don't want people to be in the remote locations and having issues in regards to that vehicle starting. So we want to dual battery, and then we have a fridge too as well, because again, you just touched upon it, cooking is key, right? So if you've got a great way to kind of hold food for periods of time and cook. And then we have all the gear that you can include. So we include salt and pepper, toilet paper, paper towels, all the cooking gear, knives and forks, all the utensil sets. Really the concept is that people can just jump on a plane with their clothes and everything's in the vehicle, and we could do a quick 45-minute run through the vehicle, how everything operates, and they hit the road and start the exploration. And then we just added 2 additional vehicles this year. We haven't announced it yet, but we have a new vehicle that we're adding to our fleet, and it's a Toyota Tundra, and it has an IU cabin on the back of Goose gear, and that's going to be a kind of a flagship vehicle for that. And we're kind of really setting it up as a full 3, if not a 4-season camper, so that way people can going to get out. We've got a Webusto heater in it as well, full red vision set up in the interior of it, so that way people can kind of get out there and maybe see some of the other parts of Alaska during the winter and kind of make that season a little longer.
Oh, wow.
And tell us, you hit on tires. So tell us a little bit about, what do we got? Aaron? What's Aaron want?
Something about BMAs.
Aaron wants to know if you found your bear mace yet.
Are we gonna play that footage?
Have you ever seen bear mace?
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it work.
Yeah, and it works off a Scoville unit, right? So it's really hot and spicy, right?
Yeah.
You want to see how it works?
No.
You sure?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Lee, should we show him how it works?
No, I'm good.
This is a trainer, okay? Wow. So I wouldn't do that otherwise, but it's Lee tempted me to do that, and
I will have you know that I did not know that was going to happen.
Oh, your initial reaction must be, it's like
I had no clue. I mean, I kind of when he kept asking me, I was like, "There's no way he's spraying that shit inside here."
Yeah,
there's no way. I met Aaron before I met you, Michael, right? And he came up and he did some training through Total Truck, and we were having dinner and just breaking some bread with him, and he was sharing that story right before he had a chance to meet you, and that's I've never seen the footage until now, so that's great to just kind of circle that around.
Yeah, it's out there.
We love Aaron,
and it's funny because I had just met Aaron that weekend, sitting next to him because his booth was next to ours.
Yeah.
So I hadn't met him before that, and so he comes and we're like, "Yeah, come over and do this little video." And so this guy that I've spent maybe an hour total talking to, just totally just bang, and I was like, "Dude, you're lucky I didn't come across this anyway."
I wish the world had more Aarons. Honestly.
I love him to death.
I really do.
And his amazing wife. People, amazing family. The kids are great too as well.
Yeah, they're all great. Wish we had more of that in our world. Yeah, anyway, Michael, do you have bear mace yet?
I do have bear mace. Looking to go buy or order my gun tomorrow. So that's on the list. Going to go buy the Sportsman.
Craig, is there anywhere up there where Michael can go to a gun range and rent and test out some guns? Like down here, we have indoor ranges where you can just rent a pistol. You can go out, try it, see if you like it. If you don't, put that back in the case, and they'll give you another one. And
I think Alaska is the firing range, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I mean, we're talking about.
There are a couple of shops that I can recommend to you, Michael. Will lend you guns, and then you can go shoot them. And I got to obviously we can between some neighbors and friends. I'm sure we could give you go down there and offer and show you a couple of different ones that you can use and see how it works and see which one you prefer.
America.
Yeah,
America. That's right.
But it's funny because bears are the number one concerns that people have for our renters, right? And we have sent out a number of people into the wild of Alaska, and we've had zero issues and zero interactions with bears.
That's what I told Michael today. Your odds of that interaction are really slim. So,
and as we said, a majority of our interactions that we've had with bears is that we've been at a campsite or being out and around, and we see a bear, and the bear sees us, and it goes, "Oh, human," and we're like, "Oh, bear," and we both go different directions. But we do include as kind of an add-on bear mace too as well. We walk through customers how to use that, and we're very fortunate when it comes back and it hasn't even been touched or still on the packaging that it was sent out with that. So,
just give Quentin, our 9-year-old, about 30 minutes with it, and
somebody going to die.
So in Oklahoma, we had some. We just had some. Sarah's mom had given us some, and it was before we even thought about moving here. And he goes, "We're out. We're gone. We went to go eat."
Yeah.
And he's in the backyard. He wasn't supposed to leave inside the house. He's in the backyard, and he sprays it in a hole in the ground.
Oh, no.
And it comes back into his face. And he goes to the neighbors. So we get a phone call. And then I go pick him up, and I'm laughing, because I know he's fine. But I am laughing. He comes around the corner. His whole face is orange.
Yep. So he got a full face look.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We were up in just south of Dead Horse last week, and we met with a group of people called Adventure Forever. They have a YouTube channel, and just amazing people and amazing rigs. And we're just sitting there kind of packing up camp, and we've been visiting with them at Goldbrush Lake. And we look up here, and the next thing is like, 4 the dad, the mom, 2 kids are just running around and they got bees attacking them, and they're just running all different directions. And we're like looking at each other like, what's going on? And they say we had bear mace. And I think what had happened is that one of the kids had moved the seat forward and they had a bear mace on the molly panel and the seat pierced to the molly panel. Apollos pierced the bear spray. And of course, everybody was in the vehicle at the time trying to deal with the scenario that was going on. And then everyone got sprayed.
Oh my gosh. The
So,
ultimate.
Here we are, and, pouring milk over people's faces and trying to use Dawn soap to wash the faces and clothes and clean up after the situation. But it works. Definitely works.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
All right,
and
Michael.
I wanted to go back to the tires. You said Toyo tires. So the tire scene is much different than it is in like Oklahoma and Arkansas, where we've got we've just got nasty stuff we're driving on. Yeah. You said that the way to go is obviously more of an all-terrain tire, but Toyos are tires that you guys use for your trucks.
Yeah, we selected Toyos mainly because our vehicles were going to be operating during the summer season, so April through October is the range. So we wanted to have tires that were going to be doing 75% of their driving was going to be on asphalt or tarmac, and then the other percentage of the driving was going to be on gravel or unimproved roads. And then it's the Denali Highway can be amazing, or it could be just sharp rocks everywhere. Same with Kennecott, same with any of the, and we call them highways, but they're not highways. They really are just dirt roads. And so we wanted a vehicle that would tires that would just give us that kind of good range of capability. And so we ended up looking in between Wild Peaks and Toyos, both are great tires. And we ended up going with Toyos, and they've just done us really well. We've had them for 3 years now. Have not had, let me touch wood here somewhere, have not had a flat yet on any of our customer rigs.
Nice.
So they've done very well for us. And we've used them for the full 55,000 miles that they are, and replace them when they need to. So,
Michael,
people here just don't have aggressive tire treads on their cars. In fact, somebody pointed out to me there, and I've got the Yokohama Geolander mud terrains, and they were like, "Man, you're ready to go do some stuff." And I just realized that I look around, and even some of the Overland looking vehicles, they all have not really too aggressive tire tread from what I've seen.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve. I don't know Steve, but hey, Steve.
What up, Steve?
Great night.
Oh, here's a good question from Aaron. How many miles have your renters traveled in total?
That's a good question. I do the math at the end of every year. We do include 150 miles per day in each of our flat fee, and then we do offer the unlimited mileage. I'm going to circle back on that one. I'll let you know the results, but it's amazing to see. We actually one customer did close to 4,200 miles over the space of a 12-day rental. And of course, he picked unlimited mileage. And I think he probably didn't miss one part of the state in regards to the road system. He drove pretty much everywhere. And he was a Polish gentleman, and his wife was American. And I swear that she saw through the window screen every single mile of Alaska to offer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It was. I wasn't even mad. I was just impressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you were about to say something about aggressive tires. Is there a place in Alaska where the aggressive tires are much needed? And where is that area? The interior?
On my play rig, I have MTs as well, and I don't mind the noise.
Okay.
And I don't mind the wear. But typically, if I'm doing more muddy trails, or the bogs of Alaska, interior Alaska, can be pretty much bottomless in some places, and so there's vehicles up here that run Aggies too as well. But it really depends. Back to the earlier point, there's no one vehicle that's designed for one person, right? And same with tires as well. there's no one tire that's perfect for every single setup, and then how you're going to utilize it's going to be very different for people. So
isn't that funny, Michael? I mean, I think you and I, before you moved, were both of the mindset that the more aggressive the tire, the better it's going to be up there. Because remember, we talked about your Geolanders and about how good that, the aggressive that they were. So it's kind of neat to hear that perspective now and go, hey, wait, it's not really necessary. By the way,
well, I think it's the strength in the tire itself because of the rocks and sidewall strength and things like that more so. But that's because most everybody that comes up here is going to go see the tourist stuff,
right?
And when we're building rigs, we're looking at very different things too as well. We're looking at from the point of view of like, what weight do you have in the back of the vehicle? What are you hauling? What are you carrying? What regions are you going to?
Right.
What's the setup that you're looking for? And that goes to suspension and wheels and tires and everything too as well. So again, it's just it's every use case is different, and every recommendation is different too as well.
Hey, just a quick shout out to Vin, who just subscribed to Overland Radio and says aloha, Craig. So thanks for joining us, Ben.
Right on. That's awesome. Yeah. So you've got the Alaska Overland, but you also have Total Truck.
Correct.
And tell us a little bit about Total Truck and what you do in that business.
Total Truck is a business that we purchased about 2 years ago, and we really looked at, when we were building Alaska Overlander, we wanted to identify quality brands that we believed in, products that we believed in, and businesses that we believed in too as well. So we found, being Alaska, a lot of places just don't stock the things that we like to have and enjoy and have accessibility to. And you've got to either order everything off Amazon or remotely, or people just say, I'm sorry, we just can't ship to Alaska, right? And Mike, I'm sure you're starting to see some of that now being up here.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to kind of create an identity that was helping in regards to overland builds and building vehicles, and really kind of doing that complete build, starting to stock certain products that we believe in and firmly believe in, and find product that we can put on a shelf so people can come in and shop and kind of do what they can do in the lower 48 and experience options that they can have that can kind of help them get them out on their journey. And so, we've got, we're IU cab dealers, we're ATU dealers, we're, Front Runner, Prinsu, that's just to name a few, Kings, we support ARB products too as well. It's just really, it's kind of cool because that part I get geeked out just as much as the Alaska Overlander side of it, where I can, hey, especially when I see families come in, that kind of resonates with me, and all young families too as well. And it's like, hey, we're going to build this awesome thing, and we want to do this and this and this and this. And then you can kind of sit down with them and kind of give them options and do this and do that and kind of be part of the planning process and kind of I get a lot of that experience when I start seeing the pictures of them out in the wild, right? Doing the things that they want their rigs to do. And then that's kind of my reward, right? When I start seeing some of those kind of those results. So it's a planning, the building, and I've got an amazing crew down at Total Truck on the front of house and the build side of it. Got some genius guys that do some amazing things in the back and really kind of build some awesome rigs for people, and it's that's what we do, and we love it every day.
Cool. That's really cool.
Right on. Right.
It's good to see somebody fill that void in places like that, because I think Michael and I, before, I didn't even know you had Total Truck, but I even thought when Michael said he was going to move up there, I thought, daggum, man, it's going to be hard for you to get anything or find anything unless they have, some of your, like 4-wheel parts or something like that. You can get some of that stuff, but you can't get much of it, and it's all overpriced. So it's really cool that you're filling that void. Yeah,
and just trying to overcome the shipping hurdle that most people have in regards to gaining access to good products. And it's just helping coach and guide people through and get the right setup for them. That's a fun part of it.
Now, Lee's going to be coming up here next year, and so I think that we may need to have him stock a whole bunch of lithium batteries in his vehicle to come up here, because isn't that one of the biggest pains is to get like a
No,
Jackery or something?
I got a store of that stuff. Come on down, Michael.
Right on. See, everybody that's complaining about it, you got it.
Oh yeah, we're a Battleborn dealer. We've got access to a number of different options too, as well in regards to lithium too. So, it's quite a broad range. We stock heated lithium batteries because that's really what you need for this market.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
well, I'll be towing a
now,
trailer. So if if there's stuff in the lower 48, you want me to haul it with me,
absolutely.
I'll have a big, nice trailer.
Fire.
Huh?
Oil fire whiskey.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. I think there's got to be a couple of cases that make its way.
So, Craig, I asked you to have a drink. I was in such a hurry. Sadly, this is my drink. But
I'm good.
I do need whiskey recommendations because oil fire whiskey is not up here.
No. I think there's a couple of great. I mean, it's funny. The brewery scene in Alaska is amazing and very strong, and I'm sure
Kenai River Brewing Company I love it down here. There you go.
Look at there.
Yeah, they're great, and you got 49th State too as well. I mean, every single. Yeah. Typically, there's that blend between overlanding and breweries is kind of very close, and so we even have some customers. That's their sole goal, was to kind of see every single brewery in every single small town that Alaska has to offer.
That's
and
awesome.
It's quite a long journey because there's a fair few of them out there, and the food's good, the beer's good, and the people, you get to see some of the unique aspects, unique personalities that are Alaskans in some of these places too. Yeah,
nice.
I even met a guy that came into the shop the other day from Denver that has Echo Brewery in Denver. So if you're in the Denver area, go check out Echo Brewery and say, this guy in Alaska that works at some shed place that does this overland stuff told me to come in, and he might connect it all. So
you remember his name?
I've got it at we'll have to get back. We'll circle back.
The reason I ask is, we're going to leave mid-August for
West. It's Echo Brewing, and I'll get his name for you.
And we'll all just go in there in a convoy and go, hey, you remember being in Alaska?
Where's that such and such? I got a message for him. That's what you need to do. Awesome.
Nah, we'll just go in there and go, hey, you remember meeting some cat in Alaska that worked at a shed place? He said this is where we need to go.
We need to come. Yep. Yeah. They had really cool hats, and they didn't give me a hat. I was a little bummed. I was like, look, I've commented on your hat 5 times. It has your Echo Brewery thing on it. I think that's enough that some exchange should happen. So
definitely.
But I'm kidding. It didn't. Let's see. Well, we're just about in our hour. We're going to have you on again. There's going to be a lot of questions that I have about exploring and finding things here, and just the different things to do. You had told me, I think it was you were like, you could spend a lifetime here and you're not going to see all of Alaska.
You could, and you got to really, and as you see, as you know, Michael, it's kind of that trying to do it in 2 days, trying to do it on weekend trips. You just can't, right? You gotta take off a good chunk of time and just say, all right, I'm gonna go do this section of Alaska, and then you come back and you're like, all right, recoup, clean, and then go do this other section of Alaska and kind of experience it that way. That's really the only way you can truly take it in, and even then you're flying through. So yeah, a lifetime would be. I've been here for 20 years and I'm still finding places and going to places that I'm like, I wish I'd seen this 10, 15 years ago. So yeah.
Hey, do you make it down to the Pacific Northwest Overland thing they do?
I did not. I went down to Flagstaff and had an amazing time. And one thing I love about the overlanding community is the people, right? The people that you meet and the connections that you have. And then so whenever we go to those expos, it's just like meeting old friends. I can't move from location to location without seeing old friends and reconnecting and catching up again. And it's just, you just meet the most amazing people. And it's just one of these kind of cool communities where you find people of your own and get out there and kind of explore the same like-minded individuals. This is fun.
Yeah,
And then
I'd like to make the trip down to Pacific Northwest. It's just in the middle of the it's in the middle of summer here.
We may be doing East Coast. We're not too sure yet. It's on the radar. We'll see if we can make it work in regards to timing, because it's during that off season. So
gotcha. Well, if you ever need to rent a overland vehicle in Colorado, I've got a hookup for you.
perfect.
So keep that in mind if you need it. And I'm going to tell him to call you when he comes up here, because he's planning on coming up here within the next year or so, which is funny because everybody I know is like, yeah, we plan on being up there in the next year or two.
Yeah.
Everybody? Like,
yeah.
Well, I think everybody was behind because, good old 2020 and part
COVID.
of 21 kind of put the hose to everybody. So I think there's a backlog of people trying to get time off to go. And I think that, it's just going to be that way.
We were a COVID business. We opened up in 2020, and that first year it was mostly medical professionals, right? It was people that had been working hard, and it was their kind of sabbatical away before they went back into it. And they were the first ones that could travel. And then the last year was, again, that pent up. It was amazing, just the pent up energy that people had just to get out of their house and go see amazing places. And then this year it's kind of normalized a little bit as well, and kind of turned into more of a true, we call transient or independent traveler versus the cruise traveler. And it's starting to normalize a little bit now too as well. And that panicness of people wanting to get out of the house has kind of become normalized, but it's good. It's really good.
Gotcha. So I've got a question for you here in Sterling, or actually it might be in Soldotna. Yeah. There is a ice cream place on the side of the Sterling Highway, and it looks like an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this place?
I have not been in it, but I'm familiar with it. Yes.
They have alcohol in their ice cream,
like a rum and raisin.
Like an Andes,
look at the wheels turning in Craig's head right now. He's
the first thing that we got was a shake, and it was an Andes mint shake. So it has Andes mint, and it has peppermint in the flavor, and it also had alcohol in it. And they have a whiskey one, and they have all kinds of different. Oh, it's amazing!
Look, Michael, our buddy all the way from Australia, Mr. Mark Bruce,
right on,
with Red Arc,
is
in the house. So we
right on.
Look,
Red Arc products, amazing products. Fantastic.
I know.
We are.
Yep, they're pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
We're a dealer for them in Alaska, and we put the BCDCs pretty much in everything from dual battery systems, and then we've done like 5 Red Vision setups, and they're just amazing. So great.
You have no idea how excited Mark is right now. He's probably just giddy while you're saying those things back down there.
Totally.
We love Red Arc. Truly.
I got to figure out what canopy camper I'm going to get, since they don't make it fit the Nissan I have. And Lee actually is going to be probably the first person to have his alley cab on a Nissan Frontier.
I really like the alley cabs. They're very well put together. Just and once you get that filler plate down right, and then if you do the install correctly, there's no dust. I mean, we drove our one through the Dalton and back, and the crew did such a great job at Total Truck with it. And we opened it up, and other than my kids' footprints everywhere when they walked in and out of it, there was no dust. No dust at all inside of it. Yeah.
So I'm either gonna have to buy a new rig so I can get one, or I'm just gonna have to figure out what to do.
Michael, listen. Today, I discovered that Scout Campers makes a new thing called the Tuk Tuk.
They do,
and it's a slide-in bed camper. Like there are others, like the Kenai and the Yo-O and all those, but it's made for your truck. It's made for a Maverick, a Gladiator, a Ford Ranger. It fits in your truck.
I just don't want it to be that tall all the damn time.
But it's got legs, man. You drive out from underneath that sucker.
I understand, but I don't want it to be tall all the damn time.
It's $16,000, and it's a 4-season camper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty
They
badass.
come with a little heater. You can put goose gear inside them too as well.
Oh
They
yeah,
get everything.
Goose Gear's partnered up with them, and they got this full-on custom Goose Gear. If you want it, you don't have to. What's really cool is you buy it, and it's kind of a do your own thing. It's
Great
I have to
guys
say,
as well.
it's a really appealing platform.
I do like it being hard-sided all the way around.
Yeah.
Obviously for the winters here, you know, if I'm able to go out much during the winter. I mean, this year's been so crazy. Everybody's like, I don't know what the winter's going to be like because this has been about the coldest summer we've had in forever.
Yeah, but September in Alaska and October in Alaska, it's kind of one of those few the tourists are gone. No offense to tourists, we love you guys. Don't get me wrong. But you got the place to yourself. The blueberries are out. You know, the colors are changing. You start seeing northern lights at night too as well. And it's a very different time. And then, you know, you've got to do Fairbanks in the middle of winter, Michael. It's one thing, you know, go to Chena Hot Springs, just get up there. You know, you walk and it's negative 40 degrees outside. You can, you know, you walk outside in your swim trunks. You get inside the hot springs and you know, you're toasty and you're warm. Everything's frozen from here up, but you know, you're toasty from here down. The northern lights are out. I'm all like, how can you get more Alaskan than this experience?
I think I'm gonna have to have Chad with Living the Van Life come pick me up and take me out in his Sprinter van to do that because he took it all the way up to the pole. Yeah.
Craig, have you ever seen Chad's any of his videos?
No, let's see it.
Yeah, Living the Van Life.
He just produced one that I think takes the cake for all the videos he's done, and it is in Arizona, and it is a bunch of storms, and he's camped up on these. I mean, his skill for cinematography
is amazing.
It's amazing, and I really think that this one that he just put out may have been his best one yet.
Well, he got some of the best B-roll he's ever gotten with those storms coming through the mountains.
I mean, oh my God. And through the nights. Yeah. Anyway, we could talk about that for
we go on and on.
I just followed him. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
watch
Craig,
it.
Thank you so much. Tell everybody that's listening where they can find you on social media, all your handles, all that stuff.
Yeah. Alaska Overlander. At Alaska Overlander and Total Truck AK. And then for booking, www.alaskaoverlander.com. It's an amazing experience. You will have an amazing time. It's we just provide the vehicle and the direction, and you guys create your own experience. And we've never had anybody come back with a negative experience. So just get out there, explore it, make it easy.
It's amazing here. And thank you so much for coming on the show. I have a feeling you're going to be somewhat of a regular. And somebody I obviously depend on and ask questions of like, what is this stupid Oklahoman doing in Alaska? I'm going to break Alaska. We've got to make sure that I don't, or if it doesn't break me.
You're having fun and you're experiencing life, man. Enjoy it.
It's a blast. I love it. And Lee, obviously, thanks for pushing all the buttons and doing the things that you do. Everybody out there that listens to the show, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's just a blast seeing the things in the chat and bumping into people and you know, getting the messages that I do. I really appreciate it. Love you guys. Whatever you do,
go download the apps. Right?
Whatever you do, go all over.